Take a break and join us. Gold Town, the Pahrump Nugget, and Lakeside Casinos.
In this week's court report, Todd A. LaCour is now facing the formal charges of both sexual assault and sexually motivated coercion after admitting to police that he engaged in sexual acts that were not in agreement with his acknowledged sexual arrangement with the victim. LaCour was arrested on a sexual assault charge after a woman who moved in with LaCour into his motorhome 2 weeks prior filed a report with NCSO regarding LaCour anally penetrating her without consent on various occasions. Probable cause was found regarding the charges against LaCour, and during his first appearance, LaCour was advised of that and his bail was set at $50,000 cash or bond. The defendant motioned for an OR release, but the court denied that motion and set a formal arraignment date. On that date in court, LaCour was screened as to his financial status. The court appointed attorney Brent Percival to represent him as his public defender. The court invoked the defendant's right to a speedy preliminary hearing and set it. Then LaCour was remanded back to the custody of the Nye County Detention Center. During LaCour's prelim, attorney Percival advised that defense received an offer just the day before from the state and was sure that the defendant was going to accept it, so the witnesses were called off. The defendant reviewed the offer, but it was rejected. Attorney Percival provided an executed waiver of the 15-day rule and motioned to reset this matter for a preliminary hearing. The prosecution concurred. Then the court admonished all parties for that continuance and reset preliminary hearing. LaCour was again remanded to the custody of NCDC. Then on that continued court date, both parties stated that they are ready to proceed, and attorney Percival motioned to invoke the exclusionary rule. The court granted that motion, and the state's witnesses were sworn in and testified, including a female, Deputy Cody Murphy, and Detective Harry Means. Based on the victim's testimony, the prosecution motioned to amend the criminal complaint, adding a count of sexually motivated coercion. Attorney Percival opposed. However, the court granted that motion to add the additional count. After closing arguments, the court found that the state has met its burden of proof for counts 1 and 2. Finally, the court orders LaCour bound over to appear in district court, and LaCour remained in custody. Formal charges are still pending in justice court for Carly Leah Moore, the area woman arrested connected to the offenses of domestic battery first and child abuse or neglect first, after initial reports of a physical domestic incident that occurred at Albertsons. The victim is Moore's 16-year-old granddaughter, and the witness is the young girl's boyfriend. The underage victim stated she was pregnant, so Moore was driving them to Quest Diagnostics for a blood draw. But things escalated when the girl did not want to go inside, and she says her grandma began digging her nails into her palm and punching that young girl several times in the stomach. Moore was arrested after she was determined to be the physical aggressor and after investigators observed injuries sustained by that young victim. Notably, other witnesses say on other occasions, Moore has also been accused of other domestic violence-related acts. This has been your court report. I'm Eunette Gentry for News 25.